O Lord, take my love, let it flow in fullness of devotion to Thee. O Lord, take my hands and let them work incessantly for Thee. O Lord, take my soul and let it be merged with Thee. O Lord, take my mind and thoughts and let them be in tune with Thee. O Lord, take my everything and let me be an instrument to work. Sai Ram. Sai Ram. Welcome everyone. I'm going to hand it over to Brother Al. Sai Ram.
Sairam, here with my wife, Roseanne, our beloved Roseanne, Swami's grace. So we'll start off with any questions that anyone has had from the month that we have had it meditating. If anybody would like to ask those questions that you may have, please feel free.
I had turned everybody to not unmute themselves. Let me mute everybody and turn them on so they can unmute. Just a moment. Okay. You will need to unmute yourself again. Yeah. So now everyone can. Oh, Brother Al, you're muted.
Okay, anybody have any questions from this month of meditating? Ooh, no one has questions. This is good. Okay, sorry.
I was doing the subconscious cleansing meditation. I tried it. And then you were asking us to bring out those memories that are there that you have to live. I guess I couldn't bring out anything. And then later on you said, ask Swami if you don't bring it. And I've been doing just that, because I don't know what to bring out and experience and live it and offer. But I said, whatever is there, I don't know what it is, but I offer it at your feet. That's what happened to me. So I don't know how to get to that depth.
Well, congratulations, you're comic free.
That's another way of looking at it, right?
It's nice. So sometimes the subconscious mind doesn't have anything that it wants to reveal at the moment. But as long as we're still having a mind, there'll be a subconscious component to it. And if we're not beyond the mind completely, like one with Brahman, which fortunately only a few are, but fortunately we're growing toward, then there may not be anything coming up, but it might be that you're not ready to have the things that would come up yet, So just say what you have to say to Swami, like you did. Swami, you reveal in me, in the subconscious, your subconscious in me, what memories, old thoughts, old feelings, old experiences, let them well up. If nothing wells up and you've asked Swami, then thank you, God, for giving me a nice, peaceful meditation tonight.
Okay.
We did the subconscious meditation last month, right?
Right, yeah.
So how about everybody else's experience? David, how was yours?
Yeah, well, I was having a lot of difficulty with my meditations this last month. And just this week, I just realized, well, maybe I should go and do this meditation again, searching. And I realized I felt very sad inside. That's all I found was sadness.
Right.
And I went into it and I realized it was my sadness over things I'd done. And that's really, so I worked with that. And I don't think it's all gone, but it was a surprise. When I did it with you, it was things that happened to me. And this was things I did to myself.
Yes.
And so
that
I was carrying around a lot of sadness.
A lot of baggage of the past regrets. Past regret. What is past regret? Past is past, Swami says. he also says, what is there to regret? I'm the one that does everything. Surrender that to me. Even the self-condemnation. Surrender the self-doership to me. Surrender the doership to me. That's the process of Sharanagati, surrender. For, we realize Swami has said, do your best, do your job to the best of your ability. Always take it seriously, as if you're the one that everything is dependent upon in terms of the outcome. Have that attitude of doing your best with as much perfection as you can possibly muster. And then realize I'm really the doer. And all the fruits of action I am responsible for, not you. That's what Swami tells us. But he also said there was a case of one of the university chancellor, not chancellors, because he's the chancellor, but the vice chancellors or the people that were in charge of a department. One of them came up and he said, how is your work? And he said, oh, Swami, it is all your doing. And he said, no, don't think like that. You must think that you are responsible for the doing of this action, and you do it to the best of your ability, and you muster up all your resources to do it right. And then after you've done it the best you possibly know how, let go and know that all the fruits of action I am responsible for. And ultimately you'll know through that process that I am the doer. But you do not know that now, so don't pretend to know it. You must act as if you are responsible for all the results. And
well, I got very nervous about Swami burning this all up. Let me tell you that.
Why?
Well, I didn't know. This was all about what did I deserve? I did all this. So it was, I don't think it's done. Let me put it that way.
Okay, so there's a mountain of karma behind us.
Well,
it's bigger than Everest. A mountain of karma follows us through every single life. We can only do a little bit. God can do all by God's grace. So we make the effort, he gives the result. We make the effort. If we really sincerely make our effort, he will give freedom, perfect oneness.
Well, I apologize to say so. I figured that's, and I got to a place where I was with him.
Good.
Before some things, and what can I say?
Good. That's what we all do. That's what we all have to do. We've all done things that are stupid in our lifetimes and that have been self-destructive and destructive to others. We've all done that. Yeah. It's actually, you can't avoid it because you're stepping on ants at times, or you're breathing in bacteria and killing them at times.
So,
it's unavoidable karma and the result. But the result is up to God. And if we surrender everything to God in terms of doership and result, there's only one thing God can do. That's dissolve Maya.
Swami's quote, the thought for the day, is very pertinent today. He's talking about Soham, and he's saying when you breathe in so goodness, positivity. And then when we breathe out the hum, that's our ego. And to breathe out, he actually said the bad. So just breathe it out. He said to put your concentration, at your nose and breathe in the goodness, and then breathe out all the negativity. When we say hum, breathe it all out, let it go. It can disappear forever.
Swami's so compassionate in his graciousness of sharing the teachings that will free us. Do you know that in the end, the last grain on the last beach will be completely liberated? So what does that last grain have to do on the last beach in the meantime? It has to become a human being. How does that happen? That's billions of years, or millions at least. And we are already human beings. Thank God we're not grains of sand on the beach waiting to be the next plant, and then the next animal, and then the next human in that line of evolution. And spiritual evolution follows human evolution. So that, follows the evolution of particles, of grains of sand. And every single grain of sand on every beach will eventually be free. So we have this opportunity. We are human beings. There's trillions of galaxies in the universe, trillions of galaxies. In each galaxy, there's trillions of stars. In each galaxy, there's multiple quadrillion planets. And think about that, where here we are, and we can be the drop that merges in the ocean. We can know our oneness. We can know we're the ocean. We have the opportunity. And out of all of the 8 or so, 9 billion people on the planet, we know Swami. We know Shirdi Sai Baba came, that Sathya Sai Baba came and went, and now that form went now, but Prema Sai Baba is going to be here. If he's not here already, he's going to be here really soon. And in 14 years or 16 years, or whenever he announces the Advent, we'll know. We'll hear. We'll be with him. How amazing an opportunity that really is. That's an incredible opportunity. And in the entirety of the universe, which is actually God's body, Swami says, that we, amongst the multiple quadrillion stars and planets and beings on each one of them, that there's life in the universe. But here, Swami says, on earth is the only place where the balance is perfect between happiness and suffering, that you can actually find full awareness, full liberation, full Brahman consciousness, Aham Brahmasmi, the realization of that. Only on earth, Swami has said. Well, maybe, I don't know. Is Swami telling us that's the truth? I believe everything that he says is like the Vedas. Every word is like the Vedas, just absolute truth in a form of a word. So I take that at face value. Swami has said it. So this opportunity that we have, don't waste time. Don't waste time in regret. Don't waste time in, unworthiness. Don't waste time in arrogance or condescension or superiority. Don't waste time. Everything is what it is. We're just the witness of that. It's God's drama. We do what we can, where we can, when we have the opportunity to help. Whenever that person or situation comes across our lives, meets us, we take advantage of that opportunity to help, dharmically, doing the right thing, helping ever, hurting never. Then, ultimately, we leave it to God. It's God's drama. We're just witnesses of that. And in that witnessing, we realize we're drops of the ocean. We evaporated from it to begin with, and now we're returning to it through the rivers and streams. And don't waste time. Take the opportunity. Don't waste time in doubt. Don't waste time in confusion. Don't waste time in the mind. The mind, you cannot know God through the mind. It's not possible to know God through the mind. The mind could lead you on the path of sadhana to your own God self. But ultimately, by transcending the mind, you know who you are. A diamond is a great treasure, a diamond is a precious stone, but the greatest treasure in the universe, Swami says, is a mind. Go beyond mind, go beyond body, go beyond breath. Be free. Don't rush it. Don't be impatient. 50 years of meditating, 40 years for Roseanne, 50 years for me, or 45 years for Roseanne, 50 years for me. You know what? It takes sadhana, persistence, patience, perseverance. That's what it takes. Don't give up. Don't ever. Just, if you fall, pick yourself up, walk on. Don't get discouraged. The mind is a jungle. and it is a very dense one. And you have to use the machete of truth. A mantra is a machete of truth. God's name, a machete of truth. Pick one, use one, stick with one, name and form, and then just cut through that jungle of the mind with that sword or machete of truth, of God's name and form. For the formless, own whatever you would like, but choose it, stick with it, right? Any questions other? We have the great.
Good
Yes.
evening. I have a
Hi.
question.
Go on.
This is Mohan
Sairam.
Jayanti, Sairam.
Sairam, brother.
And I missed last time, but I wanted to, make it to today's. And one question I have is, I was reading the, Swami's quotes on meditation, and at one point he says that, from, listening to Swami, you will start experiencing Swami, right? So that is the stage that we go when we make progress, right? So initially we only do, our own talking, right? Initially we say so many things to Swami, and then Swami listens. And then after some time, Swami says, you need to listen, it is like, so I just want to get your feel on that. I mean, have you, come across that process that's going on? It's just my curiosity, Saira.
Because we all are still in the kindergarten level.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Roseanne can speak very well while I tell my dog to go into the next room and stop barking. Go ahead. You can tell that.
So
Very.
it's just a continuum that we start out, very much in the form, and then Swami says to go, and really look deeply, more and more deeply. I do have something I could read. It'll just take a second.
Take your time, please, Saira.
I think Swami says, this is from Madras, 23rd January 1982. Even though one may be immersed in meditation and experiencing visions of such idols, these have to be classified under the first type, since all these experiences arise out of the body, mind, and intellect, which are transient and not of a permanent nature. The body has to perish, and hence experiences arising out of this body will also disappear with the body. Nevertheless, this type of bhakti is necessary as the first step. Traveling on this path, we should slowly march to the second step of ekanta bhakti, devotion to one's self. That's with the big S, self. Many people think that ekanta bhakti means dedication to one idol or form. That is not correct. Ekanta bhakti is a subtle state achieved by effective control of the mind and experiencing one's inner antar atma. It is not correct to think that control of the mind means holding it steady without wandering around. To be able to cleanse the mind of impure thoughts is the correct meaning of ekanta. So Swami, it's still bhakti and it's still devotion to God to try to find our self, the atma. And so when we meditate, we are in a process of going from the bodily to the subtle, to deep inside. Did you hear what I read? Okay.
So in this way, when we first come to Swami, we call it the honeymoon period. So he gives us a lot of looks. He talks to us if we're really lucky. An interview may come if you were early enough. And there's a lot of attention. He takes the letter when you write it. He gives, oh, you're home, here you are. You feel like that he's your father, mother, God, and he's welcoming you into the house, and he's giving you everything, and he's so generous. Or some version of that could happen inside also, that he'll do it. And then after a while, after talking and saying, trust me, love me, love is all, God is all, love is God. And he says, love all, serve all. And he gives all the basic teachings. Then he sits back and he waits and sees what you do with it. And in the process, he doesn't talk. That's the tests. Then you fail a few of them. I yelled at the ashram gatekeeper once, and I yelled at the ashram custodian and giving out the rooms once about the dogs, and then he looks at me like, what the heck are you doing here? What are you here for? Me and my friends. And then he corrects, and he's a very compassionate, loving mother. And this could happen inside, it doesn't have to happen outside. And then he steps back. Sometimes you have a lot of dreams, then you have no dreams. Or sometimes you hear him and then you don't hear him. And he waits. Okay, what's going to happen next? He never lingers very long at any particular step on the path. It always takes you to the next step. So like Ramakrishna, for instance, if you know the Ramakrishna's path, he worshiped Kali, the mother, nature, as the ultimate force of creation, and Kali eluded him all the time. Like he'd see Kali, then not see Kali, and he was always searching for Kali. Like you see Sai Baba, and you're not seeing Sai Baba, and you go into darshan, you want Sai Baba's attention, and then Sai Baba doesn't give attention. You want his attention, you want it, or you have a vision inside of him, and you want another one, and you want another dream, and then he doesn't give it. You're always trying to reach for God, reaching for Swami, reaching for the formless, whatever it may be. But the formless is elusive because you got to reach deeper. You got to reach harder. You got to do deeper. You got to be more intense. You got to do it more with more love. And God just leads you along the path gradually like that. And he once said, you're going to come back into me, whether you like it or not. You might as well enjoy it. I'm going to bring you back kicking and screaming if I have to. It doesn't matter. It's whether you want to cooperate or you don't want to cooperate. And the best teacher is Mother Nature, because what a furious teacher she is. Oh my God. If you can't learn it from Swami and you don't live his teachings, he always has Mother Nature. Mother Nature will slap you around a bit before you, so you learn it, whatever it may be. That's all God teaching us and bringing us about. Swami says everything that happens in the entirety of your life is for your good, and I am the orchestrator of it all. Swami doesn't care much about one particular life or another life. He cares about the soul's evolution into oneness. So sometimes we suffer. Sometimes, that's a good thing, because we're realizing we're not the suffering, and this too shall pass, and our bodies may give way, and that's a good thing, because we realize, well, we're not our bodies after all, and it breaks our attachments. And, God is not Santa Claus. Well, Santa Claus is another form of God, because everything's God, but God doesn't act like Santa Claus giving presents for Christmas all day long. He doesn't want us to suffer, but if we resist our awareness of the inner self, the Atma, and we resist what we have to do to spiritually evolve, nature will take care of that in due time. It's a rough path going by Mother Nature. So, yeah, sometimes Swami would step away, wouldn't talk to me for years. He didn't look, he looked at me always once in a while. I'd always catch him. I'd wait, I'd watch his eyes, I'd stare at his eyes the whole time in darshan, or even from a distance. And he would look at me like a glance, like he would say the tortoise on looking from the riverbank to the eggs on the, but that are our side, But I always caught Swami when he would glance. I always caught him, and he'd try not to, and catch me. And I always, once in a while I did it. But he didn't talk to me for years. I mean, I think once there was a time he didn't talk to me for like 7 years and didn't, I just waited. That's all. I just waited. I was lucky enough to get there. So, and for those that know, I mean, Roseanne and I don't know how many times Roseanne's been there. I was there 55 times. I have 55 plane trips. My parents were like at their wits' end. What are you using all your money to go to India for? That was, to me, getting to be with Swami's feet, that physically was the greatest boon that I could possibly have, the greatest blessing. And in the end, Swami said, okay, now I'm inside, you find me. He hasn't really disappeared. He's everywhere. He hasn't gone anywhere. His body isn't that pinpoint. He left, before he left, he said, if you think I'm just this body, you've missed the whole point. He hasn't gone anywhere.
He's ourself.
That's right. So now let's meditate upon that, right? Let's go. So let's do a little pranayama, Swami style. We place the right thumb on the right nostril and breathe up the left. And we close the left nostril with the 2 middle fingers of the right hand, and we breathe out the right. So let's closing the right nostril with our thumb on our right hand, we breathe up the left. Find Swami within you. Find God within you. And then breathe out the right. So we breathe up the left, the circular breath of pranayama, and breathe out the right. This has the effect of calming the mind before meditating. Swami recommends it. At your own pace, breathing up the left and out the right. Never give up. Since we're meditating with you all, we're going to add our hours of meditation to the 1008 hours of meditation for Aradhana Day. So I want to urge you all to meditate every day, regularly, twice a day, at least 30 minutes twice a day. Let's now do dharana. Pick a point in your room. Could be a candle flame if you like, that's the best, but any point will do. And just with open eyes, let's open eye gaze at that, blinking as little as possible. When the mind wanders and you notice, come back gently, easily, and effortlessly to the point of focus that you're looking at. If any thought has to be in the mind, let it be Om. Come back gently, easily, effortlessly to Om when you notice your mind's wandered off. Let's close our eyes now, and we'll Om 3 times, and then Roseanne will lead the beginnings of the meditation. I'll take over at the end.
Take a breath in. Breathe out. Breathe in so. Breathe out hum. Breathe in so. Breathe out hum. Remember, Swami says, that we breathe in so, we breathe in God's divinity, the light, and we breathe out hum, we breathe out ego, let it disappear, all badness, anything we feel uncomfortable, all dis-ease, let it go, breathe out. Do this at your own pace for a few minutes. So breathing in. Hum, breathing out. If your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath. So breathe in divine light and love. Hum, breathe out, let the ego go. All negativity go. Just continue to breathe. So breathing in, breathe in the light, breathe in the love. Breathe out, let all darkness leave the body. Hum. No ego, let it go. So hum. Keep breathing. Filling yourself with light, letting all darkness leave. Filling yourself with love. On the exhalation, let all dis-ease leave your body. So hum. Just feel enveloped in this love. And all darkness leave. Filled with love. So breathing in, breathing in light. Hum, breathing out. And all darkness leave the body. Filled with light. Feel how relaxed you feel. Excuse me. Feel how wonderful it is. Breathe in so divine. Breathe out, hum. All darkness leave. Whatever we consider bad, just let it leave our body on the out breath. Breathing in. So breathing out. Hum. We are divine. Not thou art. Now look within. Who is the self that Sai Baba talks about? Who is our real self? Who is it? I am. Look inside deeply. Ma. Go deeply inside to the self. I am.
Imagine that the heart is filled with the light of the sun, a miniature sun at first. And it's shining brightly with the light of love, the light of peace, the light of the consciousness within you, the light of the Atma. Just imagine it. First imagination, then imagination becomes reality. If it's hard to see or visualize, just go with the deepening peace or the feeling of love. It's the same thing. It's all God. It's all Swami's grace. And let the mind dwell on the name and the form at the same time. Or simply on Om, if you like. Visualizing the light within your heart space, the 12 petals of the heart opening like a rose in the light of the sun. Springtime coming. Within us comes first, then outside. Light of the sun within us, opening our heart centers to Swami's love. You can even visualize him seated in that heart, even standing there. His name and form are the same. Name and form are the same. Name invokes the form, form provokes the name. Om is his real name. And the source of Om. Just have Om in the mind, or his name in mind, coming back to that gently, easily, and effortlessly. When you notice your mind's wandered off, without condemning the mind or judging the mind, we just return to the name and the form, the light within us. Om. I am coming back to Om now, letting go of name and form. Going beyond name, beyond form, to Om, the mind, the light filling, and from the heart center, it fills the entirety of the body, lights up the temple of the body, it fills the body up like a glass, empty glass filling with water, from the tips of the toes to the top of the head, following your own pace, purifying every cell, strengthening the immune system, purifying the senses. I am Om. Let everything else go. I am the light. You can visualize the light in you, filling you up, the body up, not the real you. It's coming from the real you. Filling the temple of the body. And the mind dwells on Om, purifying the temple of the mind. Om, I am. Letting everything else go. Turning to Om when the mind's wandered off and you notice. Om. Body fills with light through the torso, from the tips of the toes, up the hollow legs, through the torso, back and front, shoulders, down the arms, hands, fingertips, through the shoulders and into the neck, and then eventually the head at your own pace. Powerful. Drives this process of truth. Om. Let the light flow from the neck into the head, purify the brain and purify the senses, touch, taste, smell, hearing, sight. Purify all the thoughts of the mind, letting them go, resolving its own. I am. First there was the sound, then there was the light. First there was the Om, then there was the light. Go back to the Om, the light will be there too. Peace deepening, love expanding, the light brightening. Om. Swami's grace be with us. Om. Swami, you're the meditator within us. You meditate. Just sit and let go into Om. Swami does the rest. Om. Let it all go. So from the forehead, like dawn at the horizon, the sun at dawn, follow the sun's arc in the sky of consciousness, inner sky of consciousness. Follow the arc to high noon. As the sun travels, the arc, the inner sky of consciousness. Top of the head is high noon. Om. I am. And everything else go. Resting at the top of the head with Om. No need to fill the body with light. It happens automatically. You just rest to the top of the head with Om. Don't fight your way there. Don't struggle. You have to struggle. Just take it easy and wait. Wherever you are, unfolding from there. I have journey of 10,000 miles starts with 1 step, 2 steps, 10 steps, 100 steps. Swami comes. Take 1 step toward me, I take 100 steps toward you. Take that step and don't be impatient. Just wait. He comes. He'll come. Om. I am. Oh God. Oh yes. Oh, Maya is leaving. Resting at the top of the head, let that opening come in the top of the head. About 1 inch above the head, you can put your attention. That's a little bit higher, and let that light and love flow out the top of your head and all around you. It's all God everywhere, light within us, flowing, mixing with the light all around us. God within us, mixing and flowing with God all around us. Sai Baba within us, mixing and flowing with Sai Baba all around us. Om. I am. Om. I am. Sunshine of love. Sunshine of love. Shining forth from within us. Shining through us, and the boundaries of the body transparent. We become like suns, shining to the community. And all our loved ones and family and friends and acquaintances, whoever comes to mind, see them in this same light of love. God in all the many forms, like Halloween costumes that we wear, are now taken off, and all there is light and love. All there is God. all around, everywhere, everyone, all the time. The light of love, the power of Om in the mind. Om will take you home. Home. Let everything else go. Om. Expand with that. Fill the town, fill the nation, fill the world. All is love. All is God. All is Swami's body. Filled with grace. Home. I am that I am. Home. Give up the illusions of the identities of the mind. Let Om be your vehicle that takes you to the source of Om. Beyond this universe and all that's in it. The absolute ocean of love awaits for the raindrops to return. I am that I am. Om. Swami's grace. If you're struggling with the mind, don't struggle. Just ask for Swami to take it. Surrender it. Let him be the one who determines when the final stroke breaks the rock. All you have to do, sit, meditate upon that, and wait. Then this life becomes the last. Very close to it. Om. Sharanagati Swami Koti Pranam. Sharanagati Swami Koti Pranam. Om. There's no you and I, that there be one we, oneness of love. The we brings eternity, immortality, infinity, oneness of love. Om. Let it all go. Can't take it with you anyway. Let it all go. Let it all go. Om, I am, and the source of that. Om. Love more, love more, love more. That makes it easier. The mind can be conquered through Om and the path of love. Conquering the mind, just leaving it behind. Following the Om and the heart of love. Om. Om. Swami's grace. Swami says, a handful of my devotees come back to me in eternity. Make it full in one lifetime. Let us be that handful. As a matter of fact, let us be the 108, the 1008, one of them. Let it all go. It's all God anyway. You're not losing anything. You're gaining the universal treasury of God. What a glory. Oh. Let the whole universe, the stars and all the space between them, let them all be the light of love. I am that I am. And the source of the whole universe is like an egg that sits within the love ocean, the ocean of love, golden ocean of love. And it's God's heart. That sits like an infinite speck, an infinitesimal speck in the absolute, the ocean itself. I am that I am. Have that thought. Contemplate upon that. Be free. Let everything else go. I am that I am. Aham. If there has to be any thought in the mind, let it be Om, and then leave it behind. Go beyond name. Go beyond form, Swami says. Om. In the space of love, ask Swami's grace upon you. If you have a problem that's holding you back, ask Swami to solve it. If you need help in any area, ask Swami for that help. in this space of love. Father, Mother, God of us all, takes care of every need and makes our dreams come true. Om. Ask. We can ask. God can answer. May not always give, but we can ask, and we have a right to ask. Let our needs be met. May our dreams come true. There is only God. Let it all go. Only Om remains, and Om itself reveals the truth. Truth of love, of life, truth. Sai Krishna, Sai Shiva. Let it all go. Om. Bring more love, more bhakti, not less. Always more. More bhakti brings more jnani. More love brings more wisdom. More wisdom brings more love. Om. May all our needs be met, Swami. Please, may all our dreams come true. So now, wherever you are in your consciousness, take a good look around inside. Be aware of how you feel this moment, especially compared to how you felt before meditating tonight. And breathe that love in, make it tangible and real. Breathe that consciousness in and make it tangible and real. Breathe it into the heart center, into the lungs, into the body, make it tangible and real. There's no value in meditation unless it becomes love in action, love in word, love in thought. Living love in life, then meditation is of value. Swami says meditation itself is a process that is beyond the mind, beyond the senses, and ultimately lived 24/7. Meditating 24/7 is just thinking about God, our relationship with God, loving all and serving all as God. That is real meditation. That's the value of sitting with eyes closed for some period of time. The only value of that is knowing what's real with eyes open. So bring this awareness back into the body. Breathe it back in now. Take your time. No need for judgment or criticism. Everybody's God, whether you know it or not yet. For all the drops of the ocean having evaporated from the ocean, returning to the ocean, we never were anything but God in human form and all other forms. Just our mind that says otherwise, and that mind is not real. That mind is a seat of Maya. Kali. Destroy that seat for all of us, please. Don't be afraid. Nobody's afraid when the fog dissolves under the burning light of the noonday sun. The mind is just fog. The illusions, the Maya of life. I am not the mind. I am that I am. Swami says, we all can say, I am God. I am not different from God. I am the indivisible, supreme, absolute, Satchitananda, truth, consciousness, bliss. Grief and anxiety can never affect me. I am ever content. Fear cannot enter me. I am God. We are God. We are not different from God. We are Satchitananda, truth, consciousness, bliss, the indivisible, supreme, absolute. Come back with that reality in the mind and know truth shall set you free. Truth shall set us free. Coming back with that, breathing back into the body, that, not leaving it out there somewhere. Breathing it back down in right to the tips of the toes. Making this temple of the body, the temple of love, the temple of light, the embodiments of God, embodiments of love that Swami knows has brought us to the awareness of. Coming back in now, breathing it back in. Take your time. Breathing deeply. Grounding us in this body, this temple, right to the tips of the toes. I like to think of myself as a tree sometimes, with the energies of my pranic energies of life flowing from the top of my head, through my heart center, and then through my torso, down through my feet, and out the soles of my feet, right like roots of a tree to the core of the Mother Earth. Touching that core, because this body belongs to Earth. It came from Earth. It came from nature. We are trees that have grown out of nature's way. And there we ground ourselves. That's a nice image I like to use of a tree rooted in the earth. I'm rooted in my body, not floating somewhere up, somewhere out of sight of the body or in the heart center only and not acknowledging the rest of the body. I acknowledge every atom of the body. It's all the temple of God, built by God. It all is God. That's all there is. We ground ourselves in that. And there we can act like warriors of love and light on this earth, children of God, Father, Mother, God, all. Breathing it in, breathing it down. Let's Om for peace in this world now. Let's Om for love in this world, for all beings. May all beings be happy, prosperous, healthy, and may all their needs be met, and may all beings' dreams, not nightmares, but sweet dreams come true. Like a clarion call from God, the embodiments of God. To all souls on earth, wake up, be free, be in love, be at peace, be happy. May God bless all beings with peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Jai Sai Ram. Thank you, Swan. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for meditating together tonight. Take a good 2 or 3 minutes before you slowly open your eyes, if you haven't opened your eyes already. Take your time. Om. The yogis rest their gaze when in activity. Within themselves, they look out upon the world, but their gaze is first within, looking outside from within. And so their gaze looks like they're half inside while in activity, centered on the self. The light of love is always available to the consciousness if you look. Always. Throughout the day, even throughout the night. So does anybody want to share anything from the meditation or ask a question?
Sai Ram, the meditation was so blissful and very deep, and we really forgot all of our surroundings, and there was no feeling of the senses. It was just complete serenity and peace. Sai Ram.
Oh, thank you, Swami. Thank you, and thank you, Mohan. Yes.
I also enjoyed it very, very much, and it felt very peaceful. I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Today, especially, I really felt relaxed, and at one point, I wasn't sure if I was sleepy or just down there.
Sleep can come in meditation, so the body will grab rest if it needs it first. And that often, when we're meditating, it's the metabolic rate and the heart rate are as deep sleep. Even the neurophysiological responses of the brain are like deep sleep. It's not the equivalent of deep sleep. It's not exactly the same, so it can't take its place. But the body will grab rest. Now, the way that you tell if you were sleeping or whether you were meditating, if you're sitting like this with your head upright, that's meditation. You went into samadhi, and there are 21 levels of samadhi. But if you're like this with your head down in your lap, your chin's resting on your chest, you fell asleep. And then if you bring your head up and you realize, oh yeah, then you fell asleep, which is fine. I fell asleep for the first 4 years of meditating. every single meditation. Never, ever, ever, never, ever give up. Never. Just be regular in your sadhana. Never give up. Swami's grace will come. Don't give up.
It was truly beautiful. The second question is, when we say Om, the entire thing is on exhalation, right? You take a deep breath in and you say the Om. And then the quiet period, is it still all in one inhalation and exhalation?
No, you can breathe.
And
Yeah.
yeah. And Swami says that the silence in between is important to pay attention to.
Yes.
Is it?
So the
Can you
silence in between is as important as the Om.
Right.
Silence is in between is the absolute.
So could we take an extra breath for silence?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. So you breathe in, then you say Om, Om, then you stop, then you sit, breathe, do whatever you want. You can have the silence as long as you feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be only small period. It can be large period. Then you do another Om. When you come out of that silence, then you do Om. Then you go into the silence. You wait for the silence. You sink into the silence. It can be, when we're Oming in a group, we do 21 Oms and there's a period of silence. It's not too long because we want to coordinate it as a group. But if we're doing it on our own, you can have a half an hour of silence. Doesn't matter. Between Oms. Whatever works for you. Swami takes you into Samadhi. Swami takes you into Samadhi. Om can go into Samadhi. All that silence beyond the mind. That's the real screen, the white screen that the movie, the drama is projected on. All the time there's that silence there. It's always there. We're just not paying attention to it. That's God. That silence is the source of Om.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had a question. I really thank you for the session. It was very helpful. How do I take this state and keep it with me?
How old are you, Sri?
Outside my, outside the meditation room or outside my room, in the sense that, I find that it's easier to keep this state when you're in a Prashanti Nilayam kind of an environment. But it's very hard to do it when you're surrounded by, or rather you're put under a test where you're surrounded by perhaps not so motivating nor calming environment. Maybe your workplace, maybe your education.
Excellent question. So, okay. The yogis sitting in their caves and in the forests, that's easy. They have only the trees and maybe an occasional tiger to deal with, or maybe an elephant or a snake. That's easy. Just sit there. They build a little fire, the animals stay away, and they meditate. That's easy to find the silence and the peace and even God within that state of consciousness in a cave. Swami's ordered all of us to find it in the cities and towns and the villages, to find it while active, to interact with society and find that peace, that silence, while in the midst of the chaos. But he's also said, when first starting, you must protect the young sapling as it grows. Your wisdom is a young sapling that's growing within you. You must protect it with a fence and keep good company. And then when it becomes a mighty oak tree, at our ages, we're trees at least, and we can go into the places of chaos and say, not have equanimity, non-reaction in the midst of the chaos of all sorts of vibrations. But the ultimate test, the Brahma Rishis, the ones who have awareness of the oneness of Brahmana, they know they are one with the absolute. You know how they get tested? They have to walk into the deepest hells and be in that state of consciousness of equanimity of mind and perfect love, unconditional love. They don't have to give unconditional love to the beings of hell. They just have to be of equanimity of mind and have love. Those beings, if they're not ready for that love yet, some of them, but from the deepest hells to the highest heavens, it's all Maya. It's all Maya, all of it. It's not reality. And when we have that awareness, at least intellectually even, and say that to ourselves, it's all God, this is just more Maya, we're not affected by it anymore. No, it doesn't touch us. Diseases can come and go. Who fears what? What is there to fear? God is in charge. The body's temporary, it's a bubble. It comes, it goes. You're young, good. Enjoy it, not too much. And make good with it. Do good with it. And see good with it. And live a healthy and happy life that's helpful to yourself and others, not hurtful to yourself or hurtful to others. That's Swami's commandments to us. That's his request. That's his teachings. Live that truth. And then know that Swami's in you. That you, Swami, God is in you. God is all around you. God is not different from you. And when you walk into the towns and you're with your friends and they're getting drunk and whatever they do, you don't have to do that. You can be free. You can say, I am what I am. I am that. God is in me. God is with me. God is all around me. I don't need those things. And what is there to fear when that's the case? The whole universe belongs to you. The whole universe is your body, not just that small 5 by 6, by 3 by 2. That's not the real you. That's just the body you. Don't identify with it. Enjoy it. Keep it healthy. Don't identify with it, right?
Thank
So
you. Yeah,
that in
helpful.
mind, you have to keep that truth in mind, and that's what keeps you from reacting to everything around us.
I think more so what I find is that I don't know how it is when I get older, but Swami says you should keep a ceiling on desires. And at the workplace, my job is literally to get other people to when we do a business or anything in education, our jobs are to get other people to buy more or desire more. And it feels so hypocritical at times. And I just wonder, I lose it. I can't put the world of meditation and Swami and the work I do together, even though I know he says work is worship. I know he says love my uncertainty. I know I
Don't
just
sell
have to do
poison.
it, but it's hard to put it in practice.
Don't sell poison. Don't sell liquor. Don't sell drugs. Don't sell cigars. Don't sell marijuana. Don't sell poison. Sell things that help, at least are harmless. Because people want to buy things, they have desires, they have to get them satisfied too. Before they're going to desire God, they have to satisfy their desires. So you're helping people satisfy their desires.
And
Okay.
Swami said that. He said that to us, that we have to satisfy our desires. We can't just automatically drop them, because then that's just pretending. If we have very deep vasanas, very deep tendencies and desires, they have to work out in the world. The world, Swami says, it's a reflection of ourself. If we look at it like that there's just nothing outside of ourself. There's just, the passing of the brain, what the mind is. So if your job is to have someone desire something, it's just because you have the desires within your own brain. And so there has to be something deeper that you can find in your work, that it's not just selling something. There's something else going on that it has to be found within you.
Not directly, of course, but yeah, just wondering, how do you bring that meditative state? But thank you. I think I got the answer. So thank you.
And a little more to the answer, when you're selling something, don't just sell the material object, give them love. Give your people that you're selling these objects to love. Let that be an opportunity to share something positive and loving. Now your opportunity of Dharma, your Dharma is to sell things right now. That's what you were doing. Swami gave you that job. He gave it to you for a reason. Maybe you're learning that, oh yeah, materiality is useless. Maybe you're learning, oh yeah, I shouldn't really take advantage of people and sell things to them that they don't need. And I don't want to really be a merchant like that anymore in any lifetime. Maybe having been that merchant before, now in other lifetimes, now you're learning, oh, I don't really want to be like that anymore. I want to be somebody that helps people heal or helps people grow or helps people understand life better. You know, this is a stage. Everything's a step. Everything's a step in the ladder on the path or the step on the path. Everything. It's all Swami's gift, and it's all good. Nothing is bad.
Thank you. Thank you. Sairam.
Sairam, thank you all. Sai Prasanna, thank you so much.
Sai Ram, thank you so much, Brother Al and Sister Roseanne. It's always, we look forward to this monthly meditation session, and we thank Swami for giving us this wonderful opportunity where we are all raising our consciousness together. So many of us joined, and every time we hear such beautiful insights from you, and we keep that throughout the mind. We are experiencing subtle changes within ourselves, and that's what we are observing over this period since the Unity Conference. We just meet with you only for once a month, but then this practice is really helping. I request everyone who is here to please join us for the Aradhana Day offering. Brother Al, Sister Roseanne, and we talked about it on email, and we thought it will be a good idea for us to offer 1008 hours to Swami on Aradhana Day. We are going at a pace where we are still not sure if we'll make it or not. But if everyone participates, I think we can definitely make it. So I encourage all of you, we are halfway through that meditation period. We still have 4 more weeks, and we can definitely make it if everyone participates. Please try and do that. And Brother Al and Sister Roseanne, thank you again. Our next session is on April 22nd. We look forward to seeing you there.
Sairam, thank you
Sairam.
all. Thanks Swami's grace that we brought together to come together like this. Thank you, Swami.
Sairam. Sairam, everyone.
Sairam,
Thank you.
thank you.
Sai Ram.
Sai dreams, everyone.
The little dog has gone to sleep too. There's no noise now.
He's gone. He's done. He likes us to pet him before he falls asleep, so he barks. So he gets our attention to pet him.
Yeah, it has taught us a lot, actually, the dog, because initially we used to hear it. It used to bother us. Now we know we can expect it, and we are fine with it.
Inside, outside, everything is the sound of home.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Sai.
Thank you, Sai Ram.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Sai. Have a great week.
Bye.